Hello sorcerers, welcome to Shibuya Ward. Today we'll be taking a look at the horrific events which rocked the world of Jujutsu on October 31st in Tokyo, Japan, and the dark sorcery used to create it at Mappa Studios in our own world. Get out while you still can, and thank you for joining us as always. Jujutsu Kaisen is a shonen which requires no introduction. But not sticking to a routine makes me weirdly uncomfortable, so here we go anyways. Gege Akutami's dark action manga began running in Shonen Jump March 2018, while the anime by Mappa Studios began airing in October of 2020. Over the past few years, that studio and Akutami's storytelling has both turned Jujutsu Kaisen into a household name, as long as you're in a cool house, and has turned Mappa's own reputation from a studio with the Midas touch technique to a sweatshop where children are slaughtered and then machine pressed into life-changing action scenes. Today we will be talking not just about the incredible humor, drama, and above all action of Jujutsu Kaisen's Shibuya incident arc, but the much less than acceptable conditions at Mappa Studios which brought it to life. Jujutsu Kaisen is said to be in the New Gen Big 3, the Bleach 3, and even the Dark Trio. God, anime fans are so cool. But none of these compare to my original anime team, the Silly Squad. We've got Hunter x Hunter, Chainsaw Man, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Shows with one key objective for our protagonist.
Suffer? Yeah, suffer.
But also just got a bit of the sillies in him, baby.
A testicle devil appeared and went apeshit on his nutsack, ma'am.
No, he's lying. He made that entire thing up.
And Jujutsu Kaisen is no different for how much Akutami likes to make Yuji suffer. And oh boy, it's one of the funniest shonen, with one of the best dub casts running today.
Oh my. Am I really that famous?
Yeah, for running away like a little bitch.
It's also an occasionally sweet series, with genuine and loving characters. It doesn't just tug at your heartstrings when it's ripping them out of your chest. One of my favorite moments without violence from the Shibuya arc is an impromptu date between Itadori and a girl he knew before going to Jujutsu Tech. Despite her only recently becoming conventionally attractive, Itadori immediately recognizes her, before you see a flashback of Itadori commending her for being thoughtful and sweet. This only reminds us just how kind of a protagonist Yuji Itadori is. He's got an appreciation for human life and always makes the world around him better. He's like the best brother you could ever ask for. Fuck you, Gege Akutami. But there's just one thing that Jujutsu Kaisen is known for above all else. Poor reading comprehension, bad memes, being horny, agendas, not reading their own series, horny again, and action, baby. Jujutsu Kaisen is a series which is already known for fantastic action sequences. The Kyoto Goodwill event from Season 1 is really where Akutami shows just how much he can do with the power system he's built. If only I understood it a bit better. I really love the power system in Jujutsu Kaisen. Cursed energy, techniques, spirits, and so on have led to some of the best animated action sequences of all time. No joke. However, I would feel dishonest if I didn't tell you guys that I don't really have the best handle on the nitty-gritty mechanics of the power system. But what really makes this series work is that I don't need to know the nitty-gritties to tell you that these fights are something else. Even what would normally be the most basic of fights in any other series, like Yuji versus the Grasshopper Curse, get the production to become iconic fights, which might not be such a good thing. Shibuya is basically all action scenes, but that is in no way a bad thing when A, they are this well animated, and B, they are interspersed with such great dialogue and story beats. But let's really get started with one of the best, most simple fights of the arc. Yuji Itadori versus the elder brother of the Cursed Fetus clan is one of the best fights to begin to demonstrate what makes Shibuya so special. It begins more conventionally for the series, with the narration and animation demonstrating the piercing power of Choso's blood manipulation technique. Piercing blood hits like a fucking railgun, slicing exorcism does half of what it says on the tin, and flowing red scale allows Choso to manipulate the blood within his own body. Choso and Yuji have an old-school martial arts scrap in the bathrooms of the Tokyo subway, a tradition in the LGBT community. Yuji, with his only curse technique being to put the paws on him, is at a severe disadvantage against a long-range threat like Choso. This transforms the fight from an exhilarating long-distance contest of evading attacks for Yuji to a tense and intimate hand-to-hand fight lit by glowing exit signs and loose sparks, complete with Mechamaru in Yuji's ear like a boxing coach. Speaking of Mechamaru, he opens the arc with an action scene that really couldn't be more different from Yuji vs. Choso. Jujutsu Kaisen has a mystically charged power system, not shocking when you hear its alluring name, which means sorcery fight. So getting to kick off the Shibuya incident arc with a massive mech fight filled to the brim with references to the most beloved mecha anime of all time was a real treat. Mechamaru, or Kukichi Muta, takes on Mahito, the piece of shit little freak who I will have to hold my tongue on for now. Mechamaru uses the years he's spent wasting away in a tub as ammunition against the curse, while Mahito evades the barrages of missiles, lasers, and robot right hooks by showing off the even greater control he now has over his soul in amazing scenes of Sakuga. I will always have a bias towards a fight when we get to see any new type of curse technique, shikigami, you name it. So a lot of fights that I think many may forget about hold a special place in my cursed womb. Ino, better known as the Shiesty Sorcerer versus Granny Ogami and her grandson, is probably going to be the most surprising fight to get a look in for this video, but I love it. Ino debuts to the audience his auspicious beast summon. Putting on the ski mask makes Ino a spiritual medium for the 4 mythical auspicious beasts. This inventive new technique, combined with the maybe not so great, amazing amount of production value this fight gets, is a joy to watch, even if it is immediately overshadowed by the appearance of... While Ino beats up an old woman on a helipad, however, Yuji and Megami, the current incarnations of the cursed Naruto and Sasuke spirits, beat up an old circus man below. Megami Fushiguro, a sorcerer who could grow to be as strong as Gojo himself, possesses one of my favorite curse techniques in the series: the 10 Shadows. Yuji and Megami vs. Jiro is slower than most fights in this arc, relying more on our protagonists outsmarting their opponent than anything else. While we get to see new fantastic shikigami like the Catholic Rabbits and old pals like the Gamma Toads get their licks in as well, Megami has a few more tricks up his sleeve that we will have to cover soon, but the young Fushiguro in this fight overshadows himself in his battle against... But Jujutsu Kaisen is a series that loves the art of the jump, not just Yuji and Megami beating up an old man. It's demonstrated nowhere better than in the battle against Dagon. What was a mere infant cursed womb quivering behind his siblings in the heat of battle has pubertized into Cthulhu. Except he's Jack too. Nanami Maki and Naobito Zenin take a tranquil vacation to beautiful Dagon Beach, filled with warm rays, hypercolor, and horrifying sea monsters which also attack you instantly. We get to see a lot of domains in the Shibuya arc, but there's none that we spend more time in or that I like more than Dagon's. But of course, no party of bloodshed is complete without him, the one who left it all behind.
His fangs were constantly directed toward the strongest one.
Toji Zenin single-handedly creates incredible action sequences anywhere he goes. In the last arc, Hidden Inventory, he already had incredible fights with Gojo and Geto, using his physical prowess, martial arts, and distinct lack of curse techniques to nearly kill the 2 students. Now, having been resurrected into more of a beast than a man, Toji Zenin seeks to attack the most dangerous foes around him. And dear God, thank you, Toji Zenin. Toji Zenin, for the sake of this video, will be introducing us to the very best fights of the arc. And if you want to see a really good fight, then don't subscribe. See what happens. Toji vs. Dagon is a fight that may get overlooked in the visual department when all is said and done in this arc, but I love the gorgeous, oversaturated palette. Of course, the fun of watching Toji absolutely demolish a curse can only last so long before Akutami decides to manipulate the shape of our souls again. In a testament to his potential, Toji pursues a battle with Megami once Dagon is killed and the vacation getaway comes to a close. Toji, especially in his resurrected form, can be a lot more than meets the eye. In his battle against his son, we see just how incredibly Akutami and Mappa can weave compelling narrative beats into these brutal action scenes. For all of Toji's greed, bluster, and general badassery, I think what a lot of people overlook is that he kinda hates himself. He sold Megami off to the Zenins when his curse technique manifested, but he never wanted his son to be a Zenin, to take his father's name, and when he learns he goes by Megumi Fushiguro.
No Zenin. That makes me glad.
Man. Let's get back to the fun stuff. I brought up Megumi's 10 shadows earlier, and this is a power trope I always love, whether it be Fushiguro, Quan Chi, Ben 10, you name it. And with Megumi's Divine Dogs, Great Serpent, Max Elephant, and more, it gets harder and harder to make his Shikigami impressive. That is, of course, unless you are the 8-handed sword, Divergent Sela, Divine General, or simply
Maharaga.
Maharaga battles Sukuna in an insane interpretive fight, a battle of techniques and domains which cuts a massive swath out of Tokyo in the process. This battle represents the peak of one of the two pillars that makes this arc of action scene after action scene actually work. Maharaga vs Sukuna barely feels like an action scene at times, having more visual flair and creativity than most anime have in their intros. Now, while Maharaga, the last of the 10 shadows, does deliver us a groundbreaking battle, in Sukuna's battles this arc, there's another that is true heat.
The moonlight's illumination makes it easier to see how pathetic you are.
If we're just talking about action, get rid of all the friendships, flashbacks, and tears I'll be gushing here in a sec. This is the peak of Jujutsu. Sukuna vs Jogo is indescribably cool, but I'm gonna try my best anyways. Jogo, who usually is put up against Gojo, Satoru, and Gojo again, gets to flex a little bit. Of course, he still gets his ass kicked, as seems to be Jogo's lot in life, but battling the King of Curses means collateral isn't just tolerated, it's encouraged. The dialogue, soundtrack, and especially the animation made this maybe my single favorite fight in the entire arc. But the other pillar which elevates the action of Jujutsu Kaisen is the fact that Gege Akutami is a piece of shit who We've got to talk about Mappa Studios and the real world soon, but first we are going to talk about one or kinda two more fights, but it could be three if you don't check out my new memberships tier. Of all the enemies in Jujutsu Kaisen, which range from stuttering monsters to human sorcerers, none of them compare to the true curse, Mahito. His cold-hearted slaughter of innocent civilians in front of Yuji Itadori is already like a dagger in the young man's soul, but then Mahito just rips it out.
You take it from here.
Again.
Life wasn't so bad.
And again. Yuji delivering blow after blow to Mahito while Nobara beats down his double with her curse technique is an exhilarating appetizer to the heartbreaking entree of her death. And Yuji's relentless beatdown of Mahito even taking on more of a signature as it goes from the rubble of a crater to a cold and isolating winter forest. Personally, I am devastated at what Gege has done not just to me, but to Nobara Kugasaki, who was my favorite character. But now we've got to talk about Mappa. I'm going to keep this rather brief, not only because I talked about those fights for much longer than I expected, but because this is actually rather simple. Many animators at Mappa have testified to the fact that the working conditions at the studio are brutal, even for the already demanding schedule asked of these artists at other studios, leading to the animators asking Mappa to delay the episodes in the Shibuya arc not just because they were essentially dying at their desks, but because with the schedule the way that it was, the animators would not be satisfied with their work on the episodes. This is corroborated by reports from employees, producers, and my own two eyeballs because Jesus Christ, yeah, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. While the rough and sketchy nature of certain segments of certain fights like Sukuna vs Maharaga came about due to the unacceptable mistreatment of workers, and I absolutely do not think it looks bad in any sense, I actually think it's incredible looking. But that doesn't change the fact of how we got here. Now, in my opinion, there are three solutions to this. These working conditions are a result of the highest expectations with a very short timetable. So either the episodes will have to look a little worse, which I am okay with, the seasons will have to take longer to come out, which I am also okay with, or Japan will have to get a more robust animators union. From what I could find, the current representative body for animators, the Japanese Animation Creators Association, is rather feckless, leading to conditions like those at Mappa, but easier said than done. I just hope the animators can reach better conditions as soon as possible. And as a thank you for sitting through the vegetables portion of this video, we are going to be ranking all 18 fights I counted in Jujutsu Kaisen's Shibuya incident arc. This is a silly part of the video, don't expect that lack of professionalism to continue. I'm gonna briefly touch on some of the fights I didn't actually get to talk about, but most of these are just gonna be: number 18 is Yuji vs. Grasshopper, 17 is Nobara, Akari, and Nanami vs. Shigemo, the twink. This fight would be higher up if I didn't have to watch Shigemo maim two of our characters in grossly realistic ways, but the Nanami beatdown really saves it. Number 16 is Ino, the Shiesty Sorcerer, versus Granny, Ogami, and Grandson. 15 is Meimei and regrettably Wee versus Smallpox. I love seeing curses from history that clearly have a lot of clout, and I love Meimei, and I don't believe she's ever done anything wrong or even weird. Number 14 is Yuji and Megami versus Jiro, the Circus Man. Nanami, Maki, Naobito, and Megami versus Dagon take 13. Number 12 is Nobara vs. Mahito. Number 11 is the final fight. I don't really want to tally everyone's names, but besides the Uzumaki reference and the Kyoto students getting their licks in, it just gets a little slow. Toji vs. Dagon rocks in at number 10, with his fight against Megami quickly following at number 9. Yuji and Mahito's second fight takes number 8. The transformation is cool, but the thing that really makes me love it is the voice acting from Adam MacArthur as Yuji. Mahara vs. Sukuna is number 7 for its amazing interpretive sketchy style. Yuji vs. Choso comes in at number 6, with Mechamaru vs. Mahito and Gito starting off our top 5. Yuji and Mahito's first fight in the subway comes in at number 4. At number 3, we have a fight I can't believe I didn't find a place to talk more about: Gojo vs. Choso, Hanami, and Jogo. Seeing Gojo fight in a packed setting like this is new for the series, and I'll always remember moments like Hanami's death. And for a runner-up,
The bells of the Gion Monastery in India echo.
I don't need to say anything else. But fuck, Yuji in the top-knot gorilla versus Mahito is amazing. Todo is the perfect brother to show Yuji that a sorcerer can always stand proud. And for number 1, probably my favorite action scene in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, Jogo vs. Sukuna is the perfect blend of literal and interpretive action paired with great voice acting and an even better score. It is perfect. Jujutsu Kaisen's Shibuya incident arc is both a testament to the incredible things you can do in shonen animation and to the bottomless greed of the studios that create it. I absolutely recommend it for anyone, especially a Jujutsu Kaisen fan, obviously. But that is the video for this week, y'all. I will see you next time. Goodbye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. If you made it to this point in the video, a special double thank you. Thank you very much. My girlfriend painted my nails red for Valentine's Day. Got a little heart on the thumb there. You know, some people have a green thumb if they're a gardener. I have red thumbs because I am a cold-blooded murderer. But what I have to show for my collection this week, I've showed this off before. It is the Jujutsu Kaisen guide for Season 1. But I thought I would read off one of the interviews, and I found something very prescient. Also, the channel has been doing very well lately. I am super happy with it. It is so hard to scroll through a book while holding a microphone. I can't, like, I've dedicated so much time to doing this now in this one take that I can't. Here we go. So this is from Joji Nakara, the voice actor in Japan, obviously, for Naobito Zenin, and he said, the question was, if you could send a message to Naobito Zenin, what would it be? For his own good, he should not go to Shibuya on October 31st. So I thought that that would be a nice way to leave off this video. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. Yeah, so I've got a memberships tier now also. Gonna be doing a little book club of the Long Halloween soon. I think that I might release that one for free also. You know, to get some more eyes on it. But I also might wait until I know what I'm doing with that format a bit better. But I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye. Ooh, also, Young Justice Season 4 videos on the way, so